You're listening to the Fierce Fatty Podcast, episode 55. And today we're talking about, is body positivity toxic? Let's do it.
Perfect.
I'm Victoria Wellesby, TEDx speaker, best-selling author and fat activist. I have transformed my life from hating my body with desperately low self-esteem to being a courageous and confident, fierce fatty who loves every inch of this jelly. Society teaches us living in a fat body is bad, but what if we spent less time, money and energy on the pursuit of thinness and instead focused on the things that actually matter, like if pineapple on pizza should be outlawed, or if the mullet was the greatest haircut of the 20th century. So, how do you stop negative beliefs about your fat body controlling your life? It's the Fierce Fatty Podcast. Let's begin. Hello, fatty. How are you doing? How's life? You alright? Good, you alright? I'm alright. Good, very good. Thanks for coming to hang out with me today. I hope you're doing good. I've been listening to some Island Vibes playlists on Spotify because it's very stormy here today in Ireland. The power went out couple of hours ago. It's back on now, so hopefully I managed to get through this podcast. But I wanted to listen to some Island Vibes to make me feel like a day where I could go on vacation to somewhere tropical could be a reality and not be rained on for forever. Oh, so depressing. If you're wondering about Dougal, I took his Dougal, my dog. I took off his cone this morning. He's had it on, it's Tuesday now, he had it on since Thursday, and his leg is all healed up, but every time I take his cone off, he seems to go straight to his leg and start trying to lick it again. But I kind of been watching him this morning, and he seems to be just like licking it a little bit and licking everywhere else, so I'm going to see how he goes. But he's like 5,000% more happy now that I've taken the cone off. Bless him, and he's just so nice and pretty, and I just love him so much. Oh, so today we're talking about, is body positivity toxic? Toxic, like that Britney Spears song. I'm can't just say I found ways. Is that the right one? No, is it? I'm toxic, I'm slipping down to best at the bars, pushing bow. Yeah, they are the lyrics of that song. That used to be my my karaoke song, but obviously not recently because I can remember only one lyric, which is toxic. So my other favourite karaoke songs are Bohemian Rhapsody, obviously, and Gangster's Paradise, but Gangster's Paradise sung in my British accent. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realise there's nothing left because I've been laughing and blasting so long that even my mama thinks that my mind has gone. So I do that in Canada, and the Canadians love it. Yes. If I did it in the UK, people probably wouldn't be impressed. Yes, so anyway, we're talking about is body positivity toxic, and specifically what I'm actually doing is today I'm talking about all of the most commonly Googled phrases around body positivity. So there's a website called answerthepublic.com. So if you go to this website, answerthepublic.com, you can type in anything and you want to know what people are asking about that topic. So you only get 3 shots, so make it good. Okay, don't put things in there, or do what I did, spell things incorrectly, and then nothing comes up. I'm like, how's nothing coming up for body positivity? And I'd put in like body positivity, you know. Anyway, nothing really came up for fat positivity, fat activism, because I guess it's not searched as much as body positivity. It will tell you everything that people are talking about, asking about in regards to body positivity. And I thought, do you know what? I thought in my gorgeous brain, I thought, if people are asking these questions on the internetwebs.com, then they obviously have these questions, and maybe you have these questions, but I've just never covered it because I'm like, well, everyone knows that, or I haven't thought to specify certain things. And this list of things, or the list of the different search things that came up, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I should talk about that because that's interesting. Yeah, so go look that up. Similar sites is the website I was talking about. Is you can look at a site and then find what similar sites there are. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of these questions. Not all of them, because there's like 100 common questions about body positivity. Some of them are kind of repeated in different ways. But okay, so the first thing is body positivity a good thing? Well, yeah, this is a good thing. Now, here's the thing. So many people get the meaning and the definition of body positivity incorrect. What they think body positivity is liking your body. That is not what body positivity is. Body positivity is a political movement that says that fat bodies should be treated with respect and not treated like shit. And people with, marginalised identities coming from that fat body place should have the same rights and everything as straight size people. So that is like the origins of body positivity in a nutshell. And so when people say all of these questions about body positivity, most of them, I'm thinking about it from their point of view of, do they realise what body positivity is? If so, if not, probably because they don't, because they're Googling it, then reframing the question from that point of view. Anyway, so, if we do think about the true definition of body positivity, then of course it's a good thing to, for fat people to have equal rights. Of course it's a good thing, less shittiness all around is a good thing, right? But if we think about it from the point of view of, is body positivity, is loving your body a good thing? Well, yes. Something from Mayo Clinic that I pulled is, with healthy self-esteem, you're able to be assertive in expressing your needs and opinions, confident in your ability to make decisions, able to form secure and honest relationships and less likely to stay in unhealthy ones, realistic in your expectations and less likely to be overcritical of yourself and others, more resilient and better able to weather stress and setbacks. So it's a good thing, but caveat here, it's not a good thing if you are using body positivity as something to beat yourself up with. So I don't love myself, or I'm having struggles, I'm struggling with fat phobia, therefore I'm a piece of shit. So if you're using this as a thing that you need to achieve, and if you don't achieve it, if you don't get to this place of I love my body, or I think fat bodies are cool, or I think fat bodies should have equal rights, or whatnot, and you're really self-flagellating, then it's probably not a good thing. But the concept of body positivity is good. However, moving on to the next one, is body positivity toxic? So this is a big one. There's those words toxic coming up on searches. So body positivity, is it toxic? Yes and no. So no, because of what we discussed just before. I mean, it's good. It's, body positivity is good for your mental health and your physical health. But it is toxic when it is co-opted and stolen by straight-sized people, by thin people, and taken away from the people who created the movement, who the movement is made for, taken so that so when we search body positivity, if you look up the hashtag body positivity or body positive or even fat positive on your phone, chances are you're going to see images of thin white women who are stereotypically attractive bending over as far as humanly possible to try and make their skin wrinkle that ever tiny little bit that it does, so that then they can say hashtag body positive. Now, straight sized people doing that is not a bad thing. Like in regards to a straight sized person trying to love themselves, that's great, wonderful, more body love all around. However, this is a movement created for fat people, by fat people. And so then it is for fat people to celebrate fatness, to help fat people be seen as human beings, to get equal rights for fat people. And so then when you search for what is body positivity or search for the hashtag and you only see thin, white, stereotypically able-bodied, cisgendered people, then, you know, if you're seeking solace in the idea that your body is okay, then you're going to see, you know, a supermodel who is, you know, twisted into a pretzel to try and get any tiny little bit of fat and be like, hashtag inspirational. I'm loving my disgusting body, even though it's really, you know, horrible. I'm being body positive. I'm just like, no. Listen, if straight size people want to do that, that's fine. Put the hashtag as self-love. Okay? Just being like, learning to love the way that my body is or whatever. Oh, and then when you know, straight size people put like hashtag I have a real body, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting very frustrated with this. So it's cool for straight size people to love their body. And yes, 1000% straight size people struggle, really. Straight size people have eating disorders and they hate their bodies and all sorts of things. But the thing is, straight size people don't have to deal with a world that is constantly telling them that they need to die, to go away, that they are not welcome, that society would be better if they didn't exist. And so a lot of straight size people will say, yeah, but people have told me that I need to eat a hamburger. That is horrible. That is not appropriate. That is body shaming. That is wrong. That is not the same as systemic oppression. That is not the same as going to your doctors and being prescribed weight loss, or go into the hospital and there not being a gown to fit you, or a blood pressure cuff to fit you, or a chair for you to sit in. Okay? So straight size people, their struggles are legitimate as struggles. But then fat people have the same struggles with an added layer of oppression. And then if you have marginalized identities, then even more of that shit piled on top. And so when we have this really exciting time in history where we can begin to celebrate our bodies, and then we go to look for, you know, other people who are celebrating their fat body and see someone whose body is not oppressed, it can be really frustrating, right? And so is body positivity toxic? That is, I would say, it's very unhelpful. What is toxic is a lot of people who claim to be body positive because people think body positivity is just love your body. The amount of people who are like hashtag body positive and they are raging fat phobes, like raging fat phobes, like, you know, it's okay to be curvy as long as you're healthy, or healthy is the new skinny, like shit like that. No, that is not what it is. So body positivity can be very, very toxic and unsafe. A lot of fat people don't engage with body positivity they roll their eyes around body positivity because it's been so heavily co-opted, and also companies using it to sell shit. And it's frustrating. So next one is, how did body positivity start? Well, it started in the 1960s in New York City, and there were fat-ins, like sit-ins, fat-ins held. And that is when NAFA, so the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, was created in 1969 by Bill Fabry. I am Facebook friends with Bill Fabry. I'm very pleased. I feel like I'm connected with the roots of fat acceptance and body positivity. So that is kind of like the first big push. Now, in history, there have always been pushes to say, hey, the standards we put on women is not okay. But the more sophisticated, deliberately about fat people, there was a big push in the 60s. And then in the 1990s, so more fat activism was happening there, and things being made and created for fat people and saying, hey, fat people, you're welcome here. I'm wondering when Fatso by Marilyn Wan was written. It came out 1st of December 1998. So that whole unapologetic, we're here and we're fat, and here are some resources around that, is for you. Fatso is so good. Like, even now, a book that's written 3 years ago, and it's still like, it's really good. And on the corners, it's got little illustrations of a fat dancing woman, and so you can flip the corners and the woman will dance. Anyway, so get the book, not the audio, if there is an audio version. Anyway, and so then in 1996, the website called The Body Positive was created by Connie Sozak and Elizabeth Scott, and that was a big source, internet understanding about body positivity. Then in the 2010s, when Instagram started to get big, these kind of more celebrity body positive type people started getting followings and momentums. Before that, it was Tumblr, and there was big fat positive communities on Tumblr. I was never on Tumblr, but there is still, you can still, I don't know if Tumblr, it must still be a thing. It's a thing, I think. But you could still find a lot of good fat positivity through Tumblr. And so now we have a lot of body positive, kind of super famous body positive people like Tess Holliday, previously when I first knew her, called Tess Munster, but now known as Tess Holliday, and Body Posy Panda, aka Megan Jane Crabb. And so Tess Holliday has like 2.1 million followers, I think, and Body Posy Panda has like 1.2 million. So we have these celebrity body positive things and it's becoming way more mainstream. But kind of still problematic in the presentation of what body positivity is. Because a lot of people, so for example, Body Posy Panda, a lot of people, I would say that that account is kind of like a lot of people, that's where they got started. And that is a very palatable account for people to follow, where there's not, because Megan, I don't think she's fat. I think she's a little bit chubby. I don't know what her size is, but from her photo, she's not thin, but she's, maybe a little bit chubby. I don't think that she would say she was fat. Anyway, so learning about body positivity from someone who looks like Megan is a lot more palatable than someone that looks like Tess. But Tess has more followers, Tess is doing modeling stuff and whatnot. Anyway, and so you see how that body positive, message of, fat bodies are okay is kind of diluted when big accounts who are not led by fat people are the mainstream. Now, Tess Holliday is definitely fat. Like, I think she's like a size 24, 26, something like that. Anyway, so you can see like where people might get mistaken, and there's lots of big accounts where the person is 1000% thin, and they're like, I'm all about body positivity, and they never talk about fat stuff. If they have fat people on their account, they're all very, small fat, hourglass fat, that type of thing. And no shade to Megan. Like Megan, Body Positive Panda has done a lot in regards to educating people in her captions and talking about the politicalness of what body positivity is about. But visually, it's easy for people to look at someone like her and be like, oh, it's all about loving yourself, sort of thing. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so next one is what body positivity is not. So I put a post out on the Instagrams about what fat acceptance is and what it isn't, because body positivity, fat acceptance is pretty much the same thing, right? So what fat acceptance isn't? It isn't anti-health, believing everyone should be fat, hating straight-sized people, forcing everyone to find fat people attractive, and a quote-unquote excuse to be quote-unquote greedy, lazy, or unhealthy. A method to teach people to love their body. What fat acceptance is: a social justice movement created to increase the acceptance of fat bodies and seeks to ensure fat people have equal rights and access as straight-sized people. So that is a post that I shared on my Instagram account. It's probably on my Facebook account too. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people shared it. So if you want to, then you can just go back to September 2020, yeah, 20 to find it and share it. Or not, or whatever. So it's not being like, okay, I'm just going to be really unhealthy, and if you don't, find me attractive, but then I'm going to come and murder you, and, it's just, hey, let's just not be dicks to fat people, Okay, so the next one, who is body positivity for? So body positivity is for everyone in regards to everyone can be an ally. Like, it's like anti-racism work. Everyone can and should be an ally. But, again, it's a movement for marginalised bodies, specifically fat bodies. Next one. Body positivity is dangerous. Dangerous Reddit. Do not. If you want to have good mental health, do not type Reddit fat acceptance and go onto Reddit and read anything that you find there. Do not. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Like, there's so many things I like reading on Reddit, like, am I the asshole? And people, I like reading about when people regret having kids and things like that. People confessing stuff. Anyway, like Reddit seems to be like moderately forward thinking, but when it comes to fat acceptance, it is so not. It is just horrifying. At times my website has been posted on that fat thing on Reddit, and trolls coming along and saying, howdy do, you're fat, we don't like you. So body positivity dangerous. Like, this is what, it's not dangerous. But some people think that maybe if you love yourself, you're going to become a narcissist. No. Unless you already are. Unless you, well, narcissists, actually, they don't love themselves. They might have grandiosity, but deep down they hate themselves. But, a lot of people think like, oh, women are going around and they're saying that they're fabulous, and they're saying that they don't need men's approval, and specifically cis men get mad about that, right? Because they're losing the power. If we don't care what other people think about what we look like, then they're going to lose that power to be like, you're fat and ugly, and for that to be so powerful to us. And as well, people thinking that body positivity means that you want to be unhealthy and you revel in being unhealthy, or that you want to eat babies and murder those men that are terrified of fat people. Like, no. No. I tell you what, body positivity is dangerous. No, it's the people who think body positivity is dangerous who's dangerous. Like, there's some other shit that I've heard that have happened to, colleagues doing this work is terrifying. Honestly, I tell you what, for me, I'm thinking about this all the time. So I was listening to Brené Brown's podcast, and this episode there's a book called Burnout. Two sisters wrote it, and talking about stress and how stress is really detrimental towards your health, right? Having too much and not, what they say, closing the stress loop. And then that affects sleep. Sleep is really important for your health. And me thinking about, how is my health damaged by me doing this work? So my health is not damaged because I love my body, but I think that my health is damaged because I am a visible woman on the internet in a fat body that says it's okay to be fat. And because of that, the bullshit that I get exposed to, I get exposed to more, say if I hated myself, I wouldn't have people, if I was like a fat person being like, I'm losing weight and I'm being a good fatty, I wouldn't get people probably I would still, message me and saying like that you're evil and things like that. And that does affect my health. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm alive. But, thinking about, is body positivity dangerous? Oh, well, for some people, maybe it is, but yeah, don't worry about me. It's not like I'm getting messages 10 times a day with this stuff. And today I passed off replying to some messages to my assistant, and I feel really good about it. So yes. Okay, so body positivity and weight loss. This is Jesse, and I like talking about this one because people get really heated about it. So a lot of people who don't understand what body positivity is say it's okay to intentionally lose weight, aka go on a diet, and declare yourself as a body positive advocate or someone who believes in body positivity. I did a whole episode on this. So a lot of people were saying, well, of course it's body positive to want to be healthy. Of course it's body positive to want to feel happy and feel good in your body. And I'm just like, nah, you're getting it wrong. Listen, body positivity is about saying, hey, fat people are cool. And as well, accepting that fat people are fat and we can't change that. Only for a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of people can we change that. And also that you can be fat and healthy. You can be fat and fit and be mobile and all sorts of different things, right? And so if you actively, so not if you happen to accidentally lose weight, no big deal, whatever, but if you were like, okay, I'm gonna lose weight because I want to be healthy, I'm gonna lose weight because I want to be sexy, I'm gonna lose weight because whatever reason, you're denying and saying you do not believe that you can be fat and healthy and happy and gorgeous and blah, 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 and all that type of stuff. So you're turning your back on the science, which body positivity is built on. It's like the foundations, And so it just doesn't compute, It's like, say if you just like, I love the colour pink. I really support people who love the colour pink. I love the colour pink. It's the best. And then you go to your house and nothing is pink. All the walls are painted green. And you're like, oh, I thought you were really into pink. Yeah, not really. Yeah, for other people, yeah, but for me, green, yeah, I'm all about green. Then you can't go to like the pink, meeting where everyone is pink and all they do is wear pink, and then you turn up a green and being like, well, this is like, it doesn't compute, It's just, they're different things, okay? But if you're saying you can love your body and lose weight, go for it. Why? Do it. Fine. Whatever. I don't agree, but absolutely say that, that you can love your body and lose weight, but it's not body positive. It's not fat positive, because these are political movements. Okay. And remember, this is intentional weight loss. If you're like big into fat activism and one day you wake up and you happen to have a thin body, whatever, it's no big deal. But it's for people who are like, it's for people who have, a fitness account and they're like, #body positive weight loss. And I want to get a pair of scissors and stab them into my desk with anger, because that's not how it works. Okay, so moving on to this next one, body positivity and self-love. Yeah, so this is what it is. So body positivity and self-love, two separate concepts. Body positivity is a political movement. Self-love is loving yourself. Self-love, if really what you're about is loving yourself, then you're into self-love. If really what you're about is thinking that fat bodies shouldn't be treated like shit, and you think that you should love yourself, then you're into body positivity and self-love and confidence and all that type of stuff. Next one, body positivity versus fat acceptance. It feels like maybe in the last 5 years, there has been a real kind of split as body positivity has become way more mainstream. Fat people have felt unsafe in the movement that they created and have kind of now splintered off into not really being into body positivity and being into fat acceptance, because for a lot of people, and for me, body positivity feels very like blur. It just feels like it's not for me. It's not about me anymore. It's been, taken over. And, whatever, that happens. And now with fat acceptance, I know I and a lot of people feel more at home because we are explicitly saying, don't be dicks to fat people. Because there's fat in there, fat acceptance or fat liberation or whatever it is. There's no kind of question that this is about fat people. Like with this podcast, I don't think that, I might have used the word body positive to explain different concepts or whatever, but I wouldn't describe this as a body positive, myself as body positive. I might use the words body positive in like the podcast description as a keyword search thing, but, to lure people in, and now they come to the dark side of fat acceptance. But, I wouldn't, because it just feels very vanilla. It doesn't feel radical, whereas fat acceptance does feel radical. And that is what we need radical acceptance. Not, it's okay to be fat if you are healthy. It's okay to be fat maybe if you have, big tits, big bum, flat stomach. Fat acceptance is all fat people are worthy of love, respect, human decency, and equal rights and all that type of stuff. Next one, body positivity versus body neutrality. So if we think about when people are Googling this, they're probably thinking body positivity as in body love. So let's presume that it's body love versus body neutrality. So body neutrality is great Body neutrality is when you just don't think about your body that much. You maybe you don't think it's good, but you don't think it's bad. And it is a wonderful stepping stone, or it could be a final destination. But normally that is where people go from hate to neutrality to liking themselves, thinking they're amazing. And then I think like the next step is it's not about your body. You have this realization that, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter if I am attractive or not, but because I am a worthy human being, like deep self-compassion, like I think that's like the next step above loving your body. But body neutrality is an amazing place to get to. Imagine if you can just not have to think about your body all the time. And that is, something that people should, if they can, aspire to. And not, if you can't get to a place where you love your body, that's fine. And if body neutrality is where you want to be, that's fine. Okay, so the next two together, I'm going to put body positivity versus fitness, body positivity versus health. Okay, so we've kind of touched on this before about, a lot of people thinking that if you are body positive, then you really, cackle at the idea of making people unhealthy. It's got nothing to do with health or fitness, really. Well, I guess it does in the way that we want fat people to be able to access health promoting things, and we want people to have access to fitness if they choose to engage in it. But really, it's not body positivity isn't about saying you should never exercise again. In fact, terrorize people who do exercise, and you should never eat anything quote unquote healthy again. In fact, only eat lard 20 times a day, woo, which is what some people think. The thing is, a kind of a side effect from this stuff is if you think that fat bodies should be treated equally, you will maybe then learn to love your own fat body. Maybe not. And maybe you will stop engaging, if you did previously, in disordered practices around health, around fitness, around food, around sleep, around stress, around all the things that make up health. And you're able to approach it from a balanced perspective, which is more health promoting than coming at it from a disordered perspective. So, next one. Body positivity encourages the O word. It rhymes with sublicity. Body positivity encourages the O word. Well, we're episode 55 now. How many times, if you've listened to the podcast before, have you heard me say, listen up here, motherfuckers. You better be fat. You better be working on getting fatter every time you listen to this podcast. If you don't, at the end of this podcast, go out there and make sure that you are fat, then you're dead to me. Come on now. Come on, everyone. Let's do it. Let's make the world filled with fat people. Fuck all those thin people. Let's find ways to secretly make them fat. How many times have you heard me say that? Every podcast episode. Yeah, I know, but no. Never. Body positivity says, hey, don't treat people like shit. When you treat fat people, anyone, actually, studies show that when you shame people about their body size and what they eat, they become fatter. We are saying, let's not shame people. And so, ergo, we're doing the opposite. Obviously that's not what we're thinking. We're not thinking, let's make people secretly thinner. But literally what we're doing is saying, let's just not be massive bellends. Okay, next one. Body positivity has lost all meaning. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, it has. It's pretty much lost all meaning. Yeah, I would, because I would say if you go on the street and you ask people what is body positivity, everyone would say, oh, it's about loving your body. Next, body positivity jobs. Oh, are there body positivity jobs out there? Well, yes. I mentioned earlier that my assistant is helping me out. So I have two team members in Fierce Fatty, and so they are dealing in kind of this stuff. And there's other companies that will employ people, and you can start your own thing. Or a lot of this stuff is being in the mental health field, or being an activist, or being an educator, or a writer, or talking about this stuff. But there's not like a career path that's set out, because all this stuff is so new, which is so cool, that this stuff is changing, and we can create ourselves jobs and make a website in 10 minutes really easily. Even in the time that I've been doing this stuff, it's flabbergasting how much things have changed. And I've been doing this stuff for 6-7 years. But just an FYI. Now, starting your own business online, don't listen to all of these sleazy, slimy online marketers who are like, buy my program and next month you'll be making $500,000, even if you have no people in your life and you only have one follower and it's your mum. Just buy my program and you'll be a millionaire by Tuesday. That's not true. That ain't true. And a lot of times when these online marketers, they say, oh, here's a testimonial from a person who joined my program, and then 3 minutes later they're a millionaire. That person who, maybe if it is true that 3 minutes later they're a millionaire, what we don't know is they spent 10 years getting to that point. So it's hard work. People think, having an online business, it's really easy to make money. The truth is, most people fail, because you have to do all of the things that you would say in a company. Say if you don't like sales, if you have an online business, you have to do sales. If you don't like marketing, you have to do marketing. If you don't like talking to people, you have to talk to people. If you don't, you have to do all of those things, and it's hard. But if that's your thing, it's really rewarding. It's really cool. Like, I love what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 6-7 years, and I'm still working at it. I'm not a millionaire unless someone wants to PayPal me $1 million. Come on now, I'm waiting for it. Just like an FYI, I've been listening to, because I love like online. I don't know if you do, but I love keeping up with all the gossip in the online marketing arena, and who's doing what, and all that type of stuff, who's a scammer, and all that type of stuff. And there's one person who I love, Maggie. I think her handle is small business boss on Instagram, and I just listened to an episode yesterday about how she's like helping people to not be sleazy online marketers, and using unethical tactics and whatnot, and she's doing a lot of exposing of these people, and it's really interesting. And something that she was talking about was join my program and you'll be a millionaire in 17 seconds, and people will believe it, especially if there's a testimonial. When she says a lot of testimonials are fake, I'm really surprised by that, because I would never consider making up a fake testimonial. It wouldn't even cross my mind. And when she was telling me that, because I was messaging her on Instagram, when she was telling me that, I was like, what? People really do that? Like, I thought, yeah, of course, like the super, super unethical, slimy people do. But apparently, some of the well-known people do too. Well, I'm surprised by it. Okay, so body positivity jobs? Yeah, not really, but yeah. You kind of make it yourself. Final one, body positivity movement spokesperson. I found this really interesting. I was like surprised that people would want to know if there was a spokesperson, because I thought, well, obviously there isn't. There isn't. There is no one single person that owns body positivity. There's not one single person who started it. There is not one single person who is a spokesperson, which is really cool because you can become a spokesperson. Anyone, and also it's really scary because anyone can become a spokesperson and be like, hey, body positivity is all about diets, or, or like a company like Weight Watchers who are like, hey, now we're body positive, give us your money and we'll help you lose weight. Jokes, diets don't work. So they are the Google schmingamajigs that I thought that you might find interesting. If you want to go and find out a phrase and learn what people are questioning about that phrase, and then you can go to, what was that called again? answerthepublic.com. It's free for the first 3 searches. I'm not an affiliate for them. Just something that I use in, getting ideas to ideas in my brain. Hopefully Dougal hasn't been too noisy today with all his face rubbing and guffawing and snorting and all the other shit that he's been doing. Thank you for hanging out with me today. It's been a slice. It's really cool that you listen to the podcast. I really appreciate it. And then people send me messages saying, hey, I like the podcast. And I'm like, wow, people listen to the podcast. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. If you want to listen to more podcasts that I've been on and more things that I've been on because you're so obsessed with me, oh my God, then go to fiercevalley.com/media for links to blog posts, podcasts of other people's that I've been on, videos, because I'm a celebrity. Yeah, my mum thinks I am. Because I'm a major celebrity, then you can watch, go and see the things that I've been on. If you want or not, whatever. God, I'm not going to tell you what to do. God. Okay, well, stay fierce, fatty, and I will see you later, crocodile. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye. Thanks for listening to the episode. And if you feel ready to get serious about this work and want to know when the doors open to Fierce Fatty Academy, which is my signature program where I teach all about how to overcome your fat phobic beliefs and learn to love your fat body, then go to fiercefatty.com/waitlist. Again, that is fiercefatty.com/waitlist to get your name on the waitlist for when Fierce Fatty Academy, my signature program, opens.